Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG Radio Show, and I have a wonderful guest with me today who's pretty much going to be talking about a health advocacy program that is pretty much going to help develop yourself to a better you. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I need your ears, I need your eyes, I need your whole body and soul to join me on this wonderful, wonderful interview that I have with me today, Aneesah, Kelsey. Aneesah, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Like I said, I thank you again for having this platform, opening up to people's like myself to get our name out there and to bring awareness to mental health, not just among women or African American women, but just mental health as a whole. As you know, with our culture, it's not a conversation that we have. You know, so I definitely thank you for creating a space that I can come and speak.
Oh, not a problem, not a problem. So let's hop right into it. Allow Me to Heal is the name of the program. Tell us all about it and why you got started with it.
Oh, oof, I'm gonna give you a short version. So I've always lived a very different life, and I never knew why I was always kind of like outcast, why I weathered so many storms that I have. I worked since the age of 12. Been working ever since. I put myself through undergrad and my master's. I literally had to struggle for everything it is that I had to obtain. And throughout that time, I've gone through so much that I felt like God was positioning me. It sounds weird, but I was going through everything that I was going through to be in the position that I am today. So as I'm healing, I can also help others to heal. I never really knew what my call was, but I always felt God nagging, you know, and it wasn't until my 30th birthday, I actually met up with some friends for a happy hour and told my friends, it was like, you need to start a group. It can be small, it can be like a book club, and just go from there. And I was like, I will, you know, like when God positioned me, I'll do it. I just kept on saying that. When God positioned me, I'll do it. So last year, I found myself feeling really heavy and I didn't know why I was feeling as heavy as I was, because again, I was working, my bills were paid, like nothing out of the ordinary was going on. So I definitely prayed and I asked God to pretty much show me the season in which that I was in. And something just dropped in my spirit, like, change your perspective. You know, like it's so easy for us to focus so much on the negative that we forget that there's so many positives. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to challenge myself for a month just to be positive, just be positive for that month and live in that space, you know, like grow into that space. So then as I kept on praying on that, God also challenged me to challenge other people to do the same. So I logged on Facebook and I'm like, I'm doing a positivity challenge. Who wants to join? You'll need an accountability partner. And I explained to him, I'm like, that accountability partner has to hold you accountable for being positive for an entire month.
Right.
Who's ready? So I had over like 20 women probably stated that they wanted to join, but they didn't have an accountability partner. So then I became an accountability partner of 20 women, but I also told them, okay, well, you have to also hold me accountable to next season. And for a month, I was finding myself ministering to them, sharing different parts of my storm with them, my bad days, my good days, how I was overcoming those days, prayers. I was sending them motivational messages that I was writing, things that I do on my platform now regularly. I was just doing for them every day, just because the word was just always dropping in my spirit and I always wanted to share with them. So by the end of it, I realized that it did so well that I was like, okay, God, where are you taking me, you know, in this season? And make a long story short, by the time we got to the end of that fast, they were ready for more. They wanted more. I just didn't know how to I just didn't know how to put that together, because I'm like, okay, I've always been in the crowd. I've never been in the front, you know, in the front position. So I didn't know how to kind of like make that happen until I ran into two other women who pretty much reached out to me for help. They were like, can you help me with like a women's retreat of some kind? But both of them had literally the same vision, but they didn't know each other. And I'm like, okay, God, like I asked you. So,
No.
right, you showing off, right, so you got it. So, make a long story short, we got to brainstorming, and that's how Allow Me to Heal got started. And it started, today's actually my anniversary. 1 year today, I've launched.
That is awesome. That is honestly awesome, Aneesah. I'm really, really excited to hear that. A lot of people come on this show and they talk about like how they've been around for years, how they've been around, for a few months. But I'm honored. I'm honored that a year anniversary, it's like, hey, a year ago we started. Now a year later, we happen to be on the RNG Radio Show.
Exactly.
Was that a plug? Yes, it was.
Yes, I agree. So, and then yesterday I also got confirmation that Allow Me to Heal, Inc. has now been established and recognized as a nonprofit in New Jersey. So, yeah, guys.
Wow. Okay, so that beat out the anniversary, you being on the show. That's even better. She's like, by the way, this is cool, but us being nationally recognized kind of beat it out. No, but
it's, God is strategic. I just felt like he just positioned everything the way it should be, and I'm just grateful to be chosen, because it definitely hasn't been easy. I'm healing, and I'm being transparent about my healing while also trying to help women heal as well. Women who can also be my mother, so it definitely has been a humbling experience overall.
that is awesome. That's really awesome. Now, for the folks that, aren't doing the Googling the way they're supposed to be doing the Googling, Aneesah, how can folks learn more about Allow Me to Heal? Do you have a social media link or a website that people can go to?
Yes, you can go straight to Facebook, look up Allow Me to Heal. It's actually a private platform. I created it to be a private platform as a safe space for women. I didn't want them to think that their information will be linked or shared. You cannot share anything in that on that platform. And I specifically made it that way so they know that, guess what, I can come here, I can let go my cape and just be human without all the judgment. And you know how social media is, without the input of everyone else. It's just like I can come here and be human for an hour or less without worrying about who's going to find out about whatever it is that I'm going through. So I have a private platform on Facebook. Right now, I'm currently working on trying to actually develop an app, resource app. So they'll have resources like medical, therapy, counseling, just using my resources to kind of like help other people find different ways of getting the help that they need. Because I feel like now, although Google, like you said, Google is such a big thing, a lot of people don't use it, And I think sometimes you just need that person to point you in the right direction. Like, okay, well, this person is good. If this person isn't good, you can go to the next person. So right now, my platform is only on Facebook. I definitely pray that this year I will be expanding it more. But again, when dealing with the privacy aspect, is also hard to do that and maintain the privacy and intimacy of Allow Me to Heal without making it a mockery on social media. And that's what I don't want at all.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. No. That is really awesome. And I mean, for the fact that, a year now that you're actually planning it out accordingly. I had somebody who I had spoken with, and eventually they'll be on the show, but it was shocking to me. But he actually had said, he's like, listen, I actually took 7 months, well, not so much took 7 months off from his job, but he had already quit his job, but he literally spent 7 months working on his craft, the marketing, the way it was supposed to be before he even put it out. And I was like, wow, because you hear so many people, it's like, no, just go out there and get it done. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But hearing the other side of that spectrum, like, hey, listen, we're doing this first. Now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do that. And that's only going to make Allow Me to Heal that much more better in the long run. Now, throughout this year, were there any setbacks or anything that you're like, oh my gosh, or I should say, any lessons that you have learned throughout this past year?
Everyone can't go. Because I grew up very lonely, I've always wanted to take care of everyone. Everyone that I came across in my path, I've always wanted to carry them with me in seasons that they did not belong in. So in this season, in this year, it's been one heck of a year. Actually, 3 months today, I lost my grandmother. At the time, and the whole beginning of the year. She was sick, and she was the woman who not only chose me, she raised me, she nurtured me, you know. So while I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, while also trying to make sure that they're okay as well. So I think that probably was the biggest challenge, because I never had to grieve like that ever in my life. So I think that has been the hardest thing to do in this season, because I'm grieving and I have days where I'm struggling to just get out of bed, let alone make sure this person who reached out to me, it's okay. As well as even, when you're working with different people, understanding that everybody is not going to believe in your mission. Everyone is not going to nurture your baby how you would nurture your baby. So I had to also make sure that I was making the right connections, not based off what I saw in them, but based off what they can actually bring to allow me to heal, because I'm a giver by nature. So for me, I found myself keep on giving and giving and giving, where God was like, no, like, this is your season to receive. So my prayer in this season is that God continue to connect me to those healthy people, those healthy organizations, in order for allow me to heal, to prosper, because I definitely believe people were my biggest downfall in this season, because I wanted to take everyone with me. I wanted to make sure that everyone was okay, but I also had to learn that it's not my job to plant the seed and water it. I have to do either or. It's either I'm watering the seed or I'm planting the seed. I can't do both. So that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in this season, and simply trust the process. I'm in an uncomfortable territory, and I'm literally trusting God's lead. That's it. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm literally just simply trusting that God is going to lead me to the right person. He has brought so many people into my life, people who, I've watched grow up, people who I used to see in the streets who would never speak to me, but now speaking to me and sharing their lives with me, as if we literally spent a lifetime together. So I would definitely say that was probably one of the biggest things I had to learn in the season of nurturing my baby.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. A lot of people, and I didn't think, for whatever reason, when I had people scheduled to come on the show, I didn't think for 1 second, not sure why, because I recruit during the day and I always get reasons why people can't make it to the interview, because of the loss of a family member or need to go to a funeral. But when I was hearing it more and more, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, wow, that they're trying to work on the business, or they're trying to work on the craft or product, and it's like they're getting hit with this. So thankfully, all the people, knock on wood, since even getting the radio show started, I haven't had that struggle. But Aneesah, I praise you and honor you for, having that coming to your life with your grandmother passing, that you're still able to have that strength and heart and be able to share that testimony like, hey, listen, I still went strong. I'm still a year later into this. I'm still, building this nonprofit, and we have so much more to go. So adding on to the so much more to go, I know that you mentioned as far as an app coming along, and the different type of age group that you work with, as far as, those folks being older and mentoring and being the support. What else can we expect coming from Allow Me to Heal?
Well, I'm praying COVID got to go. It's just in a way.
Fast. Now it needs to go.
Like
Aunt Marie stayed long enough in the house, eating all the food.
Exactly.
She's been taking up space. She needs to go. I'm with you.
She needs to go. So my prayer is this upcoming fall, I would like to do 2 workshops. One gearing more towards teenagers, because what many people don't know about me is that at 16, I also was raising my brother's daughter, who is now 16. And she's struggling a lot emotionally with a lot of things that she had to also overcome at such a young age. And then me also being far from her, because I'm in Virginia, and she's in New Jersey. So again, and she's 16. So, the generation she's growing up in, she's up against so much. So I want to create a safe space where we can have honest conversations with the youth, concerning their ability to heal. You know, them knowing that, guess what, I can heal too. So that's something that I definitely want to introduce. I definitely want it to be, I don't want it to be big. I want it to be very small and intimate, just so they can feel
Sure.
safe, you know, in that space. But the message is like, you are allowed to heal too. So that's definitely something that I want to work on. As well as there's a woman, let me tell you, she's young and she's fearless. She just started her own business. It's called Yoni. Love Your Yoni. It deals with the female the female parts, but it's all about
okay. I'm like,
right. It's all about healing.
To be known about young woman,
Listen,
I'm different.
no, it's all about healing your womb. She has products that are organic, products that are natural, that is healing a lot of women's womb. And she actually opened her own shop in South Jersey. So I would love to team up with her to do a Heal My Mind, Heal My Body segment. To also bring awareness to, you know, healing is not just for the mind, healing is for the entire body. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to doing. She already reached out to me to team up. So it's just a matter of timing and with everything with COVID. But we also have Allow Me to Heal's Healing Girls Are Prettier event. The first event was March 14th, which was this year. It will be something that we'll be doing yearly. The idea is just to bring a bunch of women together, you know, just to fellowship, just to share wisdom, to laugh, to cry, to enjoy one another, to build one another up. This past year, I had a lot of social workers, therapists, people who lived, hard lives and overcame those situations to be able to minister to those who were currently weathering some of the similar storms. So my prayer is that I just continue to build on this platform with workshops as well as speaking engagements. I definitely want to continue to open myself up to things of this nature, because this is outside of my comfort zone. I'm actually in a class at Harvard right now based around public speaking and writing. So yes, I'm definitely always finding new ways to not only make sure that that I'm good, but that my people are good. So those are 3 things in the next year that you should be that they should be listening out for. But again, we are friends on Facebook, so if anything else definitely pop up, I will definitely make sure I tag you so you can be in a loop as well.
Yeah, definitely. And the young lady about Yoni, I know I usually wait a while as far as for people to build up their brand, product, and service, but definitely, if both of you want to come on the show immediately, definitely feel free to reach out and have her on. So, and that goes for anybody, you know.
I will.
Yeah, and I usually don't put this out there, but I want to put this out there. If you're listening and you have a product, service, brand, yes, I will be putting this out there. I'm helping us first, the African American community. But, you know, if you happen to be a fair complexion, I do have relatives in different races and cultures. So, but ultimately, you know, I want people's voices to be heard. I want people to feel that it's like, hey, I want to get somebody else involved. I want somebody else to hear this, even if it's just one person, because all in all, it just takes one voice.
And listen, I have a couple fearless women who are following me who are doing incredible things, from building their own business while juggling being a single mother. I actually gave one of them your email. I'm not sure if she reached out to you. Her name is Aaliyah Sharice or Aaliyah Lynn. I definitely
that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I definitely gave her your information. She's killing it out here. Like, I have so many women on my platform that's really doing amazing things, and I try to make sure that they know that I'm supporting them in their quest too, because Allow Me to Heal isn't just about me. It's about us growing together, because, you know, we're greater together, you know. And in this year, I feel like us as a culture, I hope we are learning how much greater we are together, and that's something that I want to keep on promoting the underdog. I feel like there's so many people that's doing so many great things, and they're not getting the acknowledgement that they need, you know, that they deserve.
Right. No, I'm in 100% agreement. And even not so much being the underdog, because I come from Philadelphia and we were treated like underdogs for the years. We already knew we was champions. We've been champions.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't officially set out that we became champions. So no, for everybody, I want them to realize that they do have that championship in them. You know, we come from kings and queens. We come from that lineage. I hate people thinking that, you know, I don't know what happened with the history books, but it just seems like we focus so much on the slavery part that they don't take it back to the 1400s and 1500s when we were right next to Julius Caesar and all of them. Now, I know I got my history wrong, but we were definitely right next to the individuals with the monarchies and running these empires. So for whatever reason, you know, things had happened and we're here right now, but people need to realize your last name means something. What you have in you means something. Your DNA means something. And it's not just your name. It's not just, you know, the thought that you have in your head. You know, mathematicians are part of your soul. You know, scientists are part of your soul. Mentorship is part of your soul. Counseling is part of your soul. It's a gift that's been given to you. And if it takes a YouTube platform to bring it out, then so be it. So
I agree with you. I believe that God has given us all a unique gift, and it is our job to honor that gift to the best of our ability and not be so consumed by the world, because, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, but not honoring the gift that he has given you. So that's definitely the season that I find myself in. And, you know, my hope is that allow me to heal becomes so much greater than I could ever imagine, because I know the quality of people that I have, not only supporting me, not only connected to the vision, but again, like I said, I have so many Black women that are thriving, you know, single Black women, you know, who have kids that are just thriving in everything that they do. So I also want to make sure that their hearts and their spirits are in the right place, so that they're able to do what it is that God wants them to do for them and their family, you know. So I think if we all get to that place, I think we will accomplish so much more than we.
Oh yes. Hey, listen, as long as two are in agreement, you know what happens.
You know that word.
Yes, indeed. I didn't follow all the way, but I got the gist of it. I got the basic instructions before leaving Earth. So
listen, I tell people I'm God's favorite heathen. You know, so listen, I don't get it always right, but you know, I'll get there.
That's the way to do it. Now, Aneesah, before I let you go, I do want to ask you one question. For that new entrepreneur, that young entrepreneur, or that entrepreneur that maybe 3 years in their business, but just not getting to where they need to get to reach that plateau, what advice would you give somebody that is either getting started in the business or just struggling to continue on with it, especially during the times that we're living in right now?
I had one of my good friends, she brought forth a word, and it was based off a sermon that she heard from Sarah Jakes, and it was talking about suffering. And it was pretty much stating that we get to choose what we suffer for. And sometimes we choose the wrong things, the wrong path, the wrong people. And we need to get to that place where as though we can literally map it out. Okay, is this worth suffering for? If not, okay, that has to go. If he or she is worth struggling for, if not, that has to go. Because I think sometimes we get so consumed by the problems of other people that we make them our problem, and it kind of clouds, you know, God's purpose over our lives. I know personally for me, that was something that I was struggling with in my season, or even just, again, comparing. You know, focus on your gift. Focus on what God has for you. Don't get so caught up and, oh, someone else has the same line as me or same product as me and they're doing better. No, but God gave you this gift. He wants you to honor this gift. It was T.D. Jakes that said, listen, God will see if you can do well with 4, and then from 4, he'll get you to 40. From 40, he'll get you to 400. You know, you have to work that faith regardless of what's going on around you. And again, easier said than done. But again, if that thing in you keep on burning, and if you wake up each day hungry, it's worth it. You know, everything worth having is worth struggling for. So you have to struggle to get that thing. but the reward is so much greater. So I just pray that you continue to stick to it, trust God, pray that thing out, and start making those positive connections. Make those connections with people who has a vision similar to yours, people that you can learn from. You know, it's a dangerous thing to be surrounded by people that they're only learning from you, because who are you learning from? You know, and I think a lot of young entrepreneurs, that's the place in which that they find themselves in. Everybody wants to have so many friends, but it's like, okay, what are you learning from these friends? Are you discussing investments? Are you discussing money management? You know, like having those people in your life matter. And so that's the best advice I could give. Make sure that who you are, what you want to do is aligned with your gift, and you don't have nobody weighing you down. Because people, family, men will weigh you down, you know? So you have to make sure that if that's what you want to do, that you have the right people to cultivate that thing, you know?
Awesome. I love that. And Aneesah, one more time, how can folks learn more, or I should say women, how can women learn more about Allow Me to Heal?
Yes, we have a private platform on Facebook at Allow Me to Heal. You'll see the logo, and I'll invite you in. And I do pray that you join us in this healing journey. It's such a beautiful thing. We welcome all race. Is just not a bunch of Black women. I have a little bit of everything. I don't want people to think this is a Black only thing, because it's not. Although I'm from mine.
Black woman.
Listen, I'm from mine, but I want you to know that no, I embrace all women. I'm here to help heal all women. So definitely look us up on Facebook, and I look forward to spending time, spending this journey with you.
That's great. That's great. Well, Aneesah, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies specifically, do your best to stop this interview and go on Facebook and look up Allow Me to Heal. You know how to spell, and no, it's not heal like Achilles heel. It is heal, H-E.
Heal.
Okay. Aneesah, thank you again so much for being on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm humbled. Thank you.
Not a problem. And folks at home, tune in Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. on Facebook Live. Or if you just happen to not feel like waking up that early, be sure to catch out the YouTube replay as well. Aneesah, thank you again so much for being on the show.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Fleslet on the beat.